Okay, everybody, welcome to another edition of TEW 2020, WCW 2003, as we continue on the road towards Super Brawl. So let's get rolling. Nothing fancy here. We're in Springfield, Missouri for this edition of Nitro, and let's start the show. So we start the show off with our six-man match to get some people some ring time who are too big stars to be on Saturday night, but who aren't wrestling this week. So we've got Ray Jr., Chuck Palumbo, and Air Paris going over Scott Steiner, Cash, and Morningstar in 15:29 when Ray Jr. pinned Morningstar with a springboard hurricanrana. This got a 73, which means it'll probably be better than some stuff on the actual show, but what can you do? Chuck Palumbo got a bruised eye socket, so hopefully that'll be nothing too major. But anyway, we've got 8,000 people here in Springfield, so let's go off to the actual show. Yes, I know, Dusty. Thanks. So we start things off with the Deadpool opening the show. So basically what happens is Vampiro, Mesias, Morningstar, and Lestat all come out. Lestat just sort of, stands there and does gangrelly things. Morningstar has a cruiserweight title over his shoulder. Mesias looks scary. And Vampiro's like, tonight is another chapter in the death of the heroes. Some of you may think just because we've had some setbacks, that we have some people fight back, that we're going to be scared and weary of the challenge. But there's no need. Sting is gone. The Macho Man has been extinguished. And tonight, the so-called People's Champion does his best, but he'll fall to the future of this sport, to the man who will help me lay waste to all World Championship Wrestling, the monster himself, Mesias. Mesias gets a little scary. This cues DDP and Booker to come out. Booker's like, you think you're going to be able to get, Seka, you think you can get involved in the match? Well, I'll be there. Make sure you don't do nothing at all. If Mesias is going to win, he's going to do his all alone. So DDP's like, it doesn't matter how many times you knock me down. I'll get back up. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big you are, Mesias. I've fought giants before. I fought men who thought they were big and sexy. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you'll still feel the bang. 96, because all the people who I had actually talk are really good at talking, and the other people, look good. So, really hot start to the show. Then we had Gail Kim go over Jordan Cole in 7:45 by pinfall. This got a 59. Gail Kim got a 54. Jordan Cole got a 47. So just a solid match to put over Kim. As she sort of builds to her possible women's world title shot. And then Gail Kim basically calls Angel Fox out again. This gets a 66 because Kim's actually pretty decent on the mic, and she's like, Angel, you're nothing but a paper champion. You can act like, you're some cool California girl who just, wants to hang out with folks and be, the cool girl. But at the end of the day, you're a joke. You beat a champion who shouldn't have even been a champion just by showing up. I had to fight hard for my title shot. I'm going to fight hard for another title shot, and then I'm going to take the belt off and prove to all these fans that it should have been me as the first women's world champion and hold that belt the whole time. Fans boo because Kim's a heel, and there you go. 66, solid stuff. So then we have a Helms backstage promo. So it basically starts off by, Jeremy Borash. Borash. At Wrestle War, you saw me fight, call me anybody out, and you saw me super kick Alex right back to obscurity. But where was my calling? Where's my praise? Nothing. This just proves WCW doesn't want the next icon, the next showstopper, to be in a prominent role. And up comes Chuck Palumbo with Stacy Keibler. And Palumbo's like, Shane, what are you doing? You think you're some, you think you're some sort of put upon fool, some poor Portman boy because you're not in the main events already. I beat you. I was in the main event of Cage Heat. Then I lost. You don't see me whining. You don't see me crying. I'm going right back on the horse and fight. So why don't you think something you do? And then Helms says something whiny as they walk off. And there we go. 69 because we've had a bad role for Helms' ability to improvise dialogue. But what can you do? Still stall stuff. Then we have a match where Rob Van Dam pins Kaz in 8:42 by pinfall to split leg and moonsault, so he doesn't even use the frog splash. This gets an 81 because both these guys are really good, and I had them go all out. So this is just an basically a Raw Van Dam ECW, Raw Van Dam versus Drew Lynn ECW style match where we basically do all the moves. RVD gets the win, goes over, and as he's, basically getting over the fact that he, just won the match, sort of catching his breath, he called for the mic, and he's like, Kidman, bro, I still don't know what your problem with me is. Heck, you beat me and now you're just making fun of me because your new quote-unquote girlfriend or new quote side piece, whatever she is, managed to, like, damn near blind me? And you think now you're some big, you're some big star now? Well, look, Kidman, if you ever want to fight with RVD again, actually prove you can beat me, I'll be right there, buddy. I'll be right there. And then RVD walks off. 82, solid stuff from Kidman, from RVD. There you go. Then basically, so last week, Storm basically cheated to beat Rhodes. Then there's a setup for a tag match. And now here we go. And it is who you think is. So again, Mike Awesome's back. He has a week to basically lick his wounds after losing at Cage Heat, but here we are. They're back together. Team Canada is reunited, and it feels so good. This gets a 59. And then in the actual match, in about that decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, Dustin Rhodes and Conan went to a double count out with Team Canada in 6:58. And this gets a 69. So yeah, solid stuff. Like, not the end of the world. Oh, okay. So I know. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, and then they continue to fight. So the brawl continues. This gets a 62. And then later in the night, we get the official announcement that at Super Brawl, it will be in a rematch. Dustin Rhodes and Conan taking on the reunited Team Canada once again. By God. Yeah, okay. So we're on to the next segment where we have the Horsemen at the Marriott, and they basically do Horseman theories, and they even push the fact that they're at the St. Louis Marriott because they're not going to come to some cow town in the middle of Missouri where they're more, where they're more cow than women, and the women look like cows. Cue heel heat, and then basically the big thing is basically Flair does this Ric Flair stuff, Woo slaps the ass of some random waitress that's nearby. Whether that's a shoot or not is up to you. Canyons, talks, says Goldberg. Right. Yeah. Okay. I had to do my. Is it? Yeah, because there's this show. There's 2 weeks. So yeah. You don't have too many days left, Goldberg. Keep that title nice and pretty, because nobody's better than Canyon. I'm going to take that belt right off your waist. And then basically, near the end of things, we have Douglas and Jarrett basically doing rock, paper, scissors a couple times, and finally, Douglas wins twice in a row. Jarrett is, not enthused, but he shakes hands with Jarrett, and then we learn later that this means that, at least provisionally, it's going to be Ray Jr. versus Shane Douglas for the U.S. title at Super Brawl. There'll be more. Don't worry. There'll be more than that. But I just want to basically pre-book the match unofficially. And this gets a 97 because all these people are quite awesome. And then we have a really quick match, basically, where Bill Goldberg kills Rick Steiner in 6 minutes with a spear. It's a 57 because it's a squash, and it's Rick Steiner in 2003. But I didn't have any really ever heels that I wanted to kill off. I'm sure I could have done somebody a little younger and less over, but, what can you do? But still, Goldberg got a 90, so that's the important thing. Yeah, I know. I don't care about you, though. Anyway, then there's a quick promo where Goldberg's like, Canyon, you keep on having your fun. You keep on partying. You keep on drinking. You keep on carousing. It doesn't matter because we're all, you're next. 81, because Goldberg's really popular and really quite good. Then we're backstage. And Angel Fox is like, well, and basically, I don't have her character down yet, but basically she accepts the challenge and says like, Gail, you can complain about nothing being fair, but look, I took an opportunity and I took it, and the crowd supports me because they know I'm like them. I'm not an uptight bitch. There you go. Because this is still women's wrestling in the 2000s, so one of the competitors has to call the other competitor bitch at some point. So there you go. But this gets a 43, and I think I already pre-booked this. Did I already pre-book this? Yes, I already pre-booked this. Okay. So yeah, there we go. 43. Not great. So then we go back to Eric Bischoff's office, and basically both Shane Helms and Scott Steiner want matches. Scott Steiner because of Sean Hare, interrupting him, and Chuck Palumbo interrupting Helms earlier. And Bischoff is like, okay, I mean, how about this? Tag team match. Steiner and Helms are weary, but they've basically finally nod, and there you go. 80, solid stuff. There you go. Wow, this was a lot better than I expected. But anyway, in a decent match, Mark Jindrak defeated AJ Styles in 10:43 by pinfall with a handful of tights. So just, cheat to win. So this also officially sets up for Super Raw. A tag team match, player. Air Raid taking on Jindrak and Stasiak with the World Tag Titles on the line. There you go. And this gets 78, which is really a lot better than I expected. Oh, because they have pretty good chemistry. Okay, there you go. Well, this is nice to know for the future. And then basically after the match, we have a quick celebration angle where Jindrak, Stasiak, and Don Marie celebrate. This gets to 66. It was a quick angle, nothing, off the charts, just the heels, vainly celebrating. And then, wow, okay, this was freaking awesome. So basically, how this match goes in a superb match, first Mesias defeats DDP in 12-3 pinfall the Crucifix Powerbomb. So this isn't the squash that most Mesias matches have been. Like, DDP is still a big star. He's still a top tier guy, and unlike somebody like Luger or even somebody like Savage, he hasn't quite lost the step that they have. So DDP's managed to fight back, and Mesias still has the advantage because he's younger, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's all that stuff. But DDP is craftier. He's a multi-time world champion. He knows what the hell to do in that ring. But so even near the end, Mesias, DDP is able to actually hit the diamond cutter out of nowhere, maybe out of the Crucifix Powerbomb or out of like some press slam thing, and then he goes for the pinfall, but Mesias hard kicks out at one, and eventually a couple minutes later, DDP tries to fight back, but Mesias just rolls over him, hits a few big moves, and hits Crucifix Powerbomb, and gets the pinfall right in the middle of the ring. So then what happens next is, as you expect, here comes the rest of the Deadpool to sort of feast on the scraps. And again, DDP still tries, first DDP has just been nailed by Crucifix Powerbomb, so he's woozy anyway, but he tries to fight off Lestat, tries to fight off Morningstar, even tries to have Vampiro, but soon, it's the numbers game. It's 4-on-1. But then soon, then quick, a big pop as Booker T comes out. And he's, he tries to fight, but again, it's 2-on-4. Booker and DDP are two of the biggest stars. They're really good fighters, but it's still 2-on-4. And even if one of those four is Lestat, the other 4-on-2 still has the advantage. And finally, just when it looks Mesias has just chokeslammed the hell out of DDP. Vampiro's kicked Booker in the back of the head. When all of a sudden, the lights go out. And then they come back on after a minute when some buzzing and some, shall we say, music that you might remember from, say, Starrcade 1997 pops up. And then, in the ring, it's Sting. He has a bat. He goes to town on freaking everybody. So, yeah, just, wallop, whack, crash, the Deadpool, walk away. And the crowd pops like mad because after being gone for 6 weeks now, after being defeated in the elimination match, Sting is back, and he's ready to take the fight to Deadpool once again. Will this feud never end? Maybe. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just always be happening. But it ends with a 98, because everybody's really... Well, okay. I didn't rate Less Animate Morningstar, because, God, why would you? They were the equivalent of, they were the equivalent of Vincent and Scott Norton in a Sting NWO beatdown. But, yeah, just crowd pops like mad. And, yeah, so this gets a 91. So, again, this was a really good show. It'll probably be just blown out by whatever random match gets a 99 on Raw. But, again, I'm not complaining, but it is interesting that Raw can just whip out 99s like it's nothing. But we'll give it a second, see if anything else interesting happened. I want to... Oh, right, yeah. No. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, great. That's the thing I wanted to point out. Yeah, right, because you guys have not seen this. So actually, first our mail. Let's see here. Nitro. Okay, yeah, Nitro was solid. But first things first. So, I feel like I already went over this with you guys. But just in case I didn't. Is this what happens when you have shows? Anyway, so the Royal Rumble happened. It got a 90. It got 40,000 people. It got an insane buy rate, which I might have to just screw with on the back end, because yeah, that doesn't seem right. Anyway, Outcast, who are Rhino and Tommy Dreamer, which is kind of interesting as a tag team because that name actually fits, defeated the hybrid hyenas of Spike Dudley and Funaki in a 78. Yeah, I don't know how they're getting 78s. Kane attacked Steve Austin. Crash Holly defeated Brooke Lara by DQ. X-Pac defeated Marty Jennings by DQ in a match for the European title. We had quick promos about the Royal Rumble with Eddie, Shawn, and Rikishi. Jerry Lynn and Supply and Demand defeated Jake Roberts and TNA. Yeah, I don't know either. Terry defeated Molly Holly. It says tables match, but we're just pretending that didn't happen. Lita defeating Trish Stratus, Ivory, and Taylor Matheny in a match for the women's title. Raven had a promo. Heyman had a promo. The APA retained the tag titles over the Dudley Boys in a tables match. Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble. And see, it has the last four here as Michaels, Jacobs, Kane, Guerrero, and Austin, which is good enough for me that I'll consider this as the real life Final Four. And then Kurt Angle defeated Chris Benoit to retain the World Heavyweight title in a 100 match, because of course that would be a 100 match. So the thing is, both Angle and Austin are heels. So obviously the game doesn't actually say if you win the Royal Rumble you go to WrestleMania, but let's see what else happens. So on Raw's War, we had Benoit going over Skull. Shane Michaels insulted Big Show. Trish Stratus and Selena Majors defeated Ivory and Lita. Brock promo, Eddie promo, Rikishi promo. Kane squashed Headshrinker Samu. Teddy Long promo, Lita promo. Billy Gunn promo, Grandmaster Sexy, and the Moneymakers, who I think are... Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Billy Gunn, because of course they are. Defeated Jeff Hardy and the Radicals. Edge and Christian defeated the Dudley Boys in a ladder match, because of course they did. Undertaker defeated Jake Roberts. Okay, that was sure a match. And Steve Austin defeated Eddie Guerrero in a 99. But we actually beat them, so that's interesting that we actually defeated them. Again, I'm sorry if I already went over all that stuff with the Rumble, but I'm bad at remembering things sometimes. But yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to check real quick. I'm sure it's just a temporary thing, but looking at medical real quick. Medical, there we go. Chuck Palumbo. Okay. Yeah, so it's being worked through. So nothing that bad. That's fine. Just a quick check of our storylines. 22s, 76s, 90s, 89s, 83s, 91s, 84s, 66s, 57s. Okay, so all good, some solid stuff. Next week we'll continue the build for Super Brawl. Sting's back. We'll have a big tag match where Shane Helms and Scott Steiner will team up to take on check Palumbo and Sean O'Haire. But if you remember, or if you don't know, back at Starrcade 2001, Palumbo and O'Haire actually lost a tag match for the right to team together. So that'll be interesting what'll happen there. Obviously, the Horsemen might have something to say about what Goldberg was talking about them. Eric Bischoff might have something to say about them declaring Jindtak will get the U.S. title shot. I'm sure, Morningstar needs an opponent for the Cruiserweight title and more stuff. So, but that's all for now. So if you're enjoying this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below on any thoughts you have, and subscribe to the channel for more fun TEW 2020 content. That's all for now, so talk to you later, and adios.